Hello and welcome to this edition of Eat Right with Rouses. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker right here with Terrible and Home Care. Very glad you're joining us and always glad to welcome in our favorite dietitian with Rouses, April Sins. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing great, Keith. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I am looking forward to what we can do each week to get a little bit better at our health.
Me too, Keith. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, what we're doing is we're going to be talking each week this month about getting balance. And, a mistake that I see a lot of people make is sometimes we try to do too much at once. When we try to do too many changes at once, we can kind of get lost in those changes. In other words, we can kind of lose traction because if we can't get one thing done, then we start to lose that balance in doing the other thing. So I think a great option is to take 1 week at a time. Whenever at the beginning of the year, a lot of times the gyms are full, everybody's just going like full at it. And then like a month later, it's like, wait, where is everybody? So we want to make sure that we take a balanced approach so that we can stay for the long term and keep going all year long with some good habits. So let's start with our shopping habits. And so each week this month, I'm going to take you through Rouses, and we're going to start where you walk in at Rouses. So the first thing, right when you walk in at Rouses likes to hit you with all those nice bakery items, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many goodies at that bakery section. So if I'm trying to look for maybe a better for you item, of course, there's lots for your special occasions and Mardi Gras and everything. But if I'm trying to look for a better for you item, I'm going to look for something like maybe like a brown bread, like a whole wheat bread. Look for some of your whole wheat options. There's also a bread that is like an avocado bread that is, so look for those breads that have more of those whole wheat options for more fiber. So that way you can get the balance in there when you're looking for your fresh baked goods. The next section that we're going to walk into is going to be around the salad bar. The salad bar at Rouses has a ton of great options. So you want to make sure that you're not just loading up the salad with just a few lettuce leaves and mostly like bacon and cheese. That's not really going to be a salad. You want to make sure that you're making it mostly your whole vegetables, like your lettuce, like your tomatoes, your cucumbers, all of those hearty vegetables, and then sprinkle on those other little, I call them like flavor enhancers, like your little bacon pieces and your cheeses and those sorts of things. Just a sprinkle to add a little bit of flavor, but why not add some sunflower seeds, maybe some dried fruit or something like that to supplement some of those flavor enhancers as well. Right. And then also with your dressing, make sure it's just a drizzle of dressing. We don't want to have salad with our dressing. We want to have dressing with our salad. So right. Make sure we balance that out.
Right. Salad first and everything added to that is just a little extra.
Yeah. Make sure we're keeping that mindset of, want to have mostly vegetables and then add on some of these things. And then you can also add some protein as well.
Right.
Another thing you're going to find is the deli. And one of my favorite options in the deli is going to be the Rouses hummus. And the reason why the Rouses hummus is one of my favorite dipping options is because it is made from chickpeas. So it's made from beans. And so that is its sole source that it's made from. And then what they do is they mix that with some olive oil and some tahini, which is ground sesame seeds. And so it's a dip that's actually made with some hearty vegetable type of items. So whenever you're dipping, you know that you're dipping into something that has a lot of nutrition in it. And so that's one of my favorites. The next section you're going to walk into is going to be the vegetable section. And of course, we love the vegetable section. So whenever you set up your plate, you want to strive for half of your plate to be vegetables and or fruit, okay? So you want to make sure that you're eating more of those whole plant-based items so that you can have more balance. Most of us don't get enough vegetables and fruit throughout the day. So depending on what kind of vegetables do we want to get? We want to get a variety of vegetables. You can get different colors, you can get all different flavors of vegetables. And then how are we going to cook it? So we're going to look at ways that are less butter-soaked options, less fried options. We want to look at things like roasting our vegetables, air frying our vegetables, and even marinating our vegetables can be a better option. And we want to make sure that we have a variety of vegetables That does include potatoes and corn, but not only potatoes and corn. So we want to make sure we get a variety, get those greens in there, get those red colors, get those orange colors, all different types. The fruit section. Now, fruit sometimes gets a bad rap because people say, oh, fruit has sugar in it. Yes, fruit has sugar in it, but it is a natural form of sugar. It is not added sugar. It's not like we're taking a spoon of table sugar and adding it to something. These are natural sugars, but let me tell you what else is inside of fruit. It's going to be your fiber. There are lots of vitamins. There's lots of potassium, vitamin C. There's lots of nutrition inside of that fruit. And if you are worried about sugar content in the fruit, then pair it with something that has protein. Maybe it's a slice of a little piece of cheese. Maybe it's some nuts. That combination actually is great for whenever you're absorbing that nutrition from that fruit. So I hope that this helps you whenever you first walk in the Rouses and you first start adding some things into the basket. But as we move along through the month, make sure you watch this show each week so that way we can show you some more options throughout the store at Rouses.
Some great recommendations, especially where we start with the bakery. We start with finding out what's there. And I got to tell you, the Rouses hummus at my house doesn't stay. We don't even really need to refrigerate it. It doesn't stay that long. The Rouses hummus is fantastic, and it goes with everything. And so lots of recommendations, great balance. We'll look each week for those opportunities. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Keith.
You got it. All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular edition of Eat Right with Rouses, but don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming right here on HTV.